Hello everybody, how's it going? I'm Jack, UI UX designer, illustrator, animator, donut connoisseur. I also have a new chair, so I'm slightly lower than I normally am, but I've been doing some rearranging here in the space, and I needed a chair that fit with the new height of my desk, so got a little bit of adjusting to do with the camera and things, but welcome everybody, I hope you're having a great weekend. We're going to be working in Illustrator today on some plants, and tomorrow we'll probably be working on finishing up the parasail branding. I met with them last week, and I didn't get a chance to get back into it yet, but I do have a list of notes to go through to kind of like finalize the brand. We're still going to be working on the packaging, so that'll be still to come, but we do have a pretty good lockdown on the brand itself, and then we kind of want to move forward with some social things. So that will be tomorrow's stream, since I didn't have time to really prep for it before this. I need to just kind of I went through and organized all of my notes, but I need to just kind of read through them and make sure that I know what I'm doing before I start streaming. Anyways, I'm gonna switch screens because I look really short right now. Okay, here we are back in Illustrator. We're going to be continuing to work on our plants. We've got a whole bunch in here. We need to do the rest of the kind of smaller hanging plants, the jellyfish plant, air plants, and the monkey's tail cactus, which is probably what I'm going to start with because that's going to be the big remaining thing, and then we'll move on to the jellyfish air plants. And then really the final step before we just kind of add some detailing across the board to make sure all of our plants are the same level of detail is going to be adding in some larger leaves and stuff to the background. So you can see I've got here on our list a couple more notes. I'm going to have to hide some of these plants because some of them are quite large with the textures and stuff. Odari's here! Welcome, Odari! How's it going? So we're going to scroll down here. You missed my whole intro spiel, Odari, but that's okay. Odari's another streamer here on Behance. Be sure to go check out Odari's stuff. I missed Odari's stream this morning. It's just not been working out in the mornings for me to catch Odari's streams, so unfortunately, we're going to check off the burro's tail. We're going to scroll down here and get into it with the monkey tail cactus. Before I get started, I do want to share, Allison from the Illustrator Discord has also been working along doing, Allison's been doing her own design of the stems plant shop, using sort of, what I've been doing on the stream. So this was really cool and really fun to see, Allison kind of playing along with the concept. Feel free, if you want to create your own, plant illustration, plant shop, greenhouse, plants, feel free to do so, and I'd love to see it, and if you share it with me, I'll obviously share it on stream. So this was really cool. Thanks so much for sharing, Allison. Of course, you can just share it with me privately if you don't want me to share it on stream, but I know Allison gave me permission to share this, so thank you, Allison. Really cool idea to kind of take the concept that we've been working on and actually apply it to the plant shop. I know that Allison's been working on this stems brand for a really long time. Started with the Illustrator challenges, and so it's really cool to kind of see the evolution of this. I would really like to see eventually Allison put together a whole case study, a large case study on all of the brand assets that she's developed for this kind of make-believe passion project plant shop. I think that would be really cool because I know that she's got quite a few assets kind of developed for this already. It would be cool to see a full branding presentation. I also love that Allison always pushes herself to do like this is like a branding presentation because we've got like the plant shop name and everything, but everything's done in Illustrator and it's all kind of like has the stylized feel to it, which is really nice and offers kind of like a unique way of displaying displaying something that's to a client. Always looking out for those ways you can kind of like stand out, right? Nick's here. Welcome, Nick. It's gonna be a pretty chill day. Like I said, we're gonna just be finishing up some of this. Hopefully it's gonna be a weekend of finishing a lot of things. Finishing out some illustrations here and finishing out, phase 1 kind of the branding project for Peristyle. I do want to say that next week, the 7th, I will be hosting Isabella Poirier, Izzy, on Adobe Live. I need to double check on the time for that. So come hang out with us. I think it's 10:30 Pacific that I'll be hanging out with Izzy. We're gonna be, I haven't spoken with her yet. She's gonna let me know what we're gonna be doing during that stream, but come hang out. It'll obviously be posted with my schedule for the week next week, and I'll post out to social. So if you follow me on any of my social channels or on Behance, I will post about that. Let me double check the time that's gonna be, just in case I missed it. Yeah, that's gonna be June 7th. It's 1:30 p.m. Eastern, so I believe I was right, and it's 10:30 a.m. Pacific. Bliss is here. Welcome, Bliss. How's it going? Ooh, Odari is also, speaking of the Discord, Odari's sharing starfish instead of jellyfish air plants. So super cool to see that you went out and you got some starfish shaped air plant holders. I love that they grow out the bottom. It's so interesting. So thanks for sharing, Odari. Love to see your plants going on. I have not successfully acquired any air plant holders since we spoke, so I haven't particularly had time. But the other thing that I wanted to say before we get into it is I will also be doing a pro tips on June 12th. So if you have any suggestions for workflows that you've been really interested in seeing, anything at all that you'd like to see, that it can be something that I've kind of worked on in the past, or something that you have been curious about that maybe you've seen somebody else do and you wanted to know how it's been done, I'll be happy to kind of demonstrate any of that. I do want to keep it sort of, that week is kind of like, we're into like the season of Pride, so I would like to keep it along those lines. So if you have any suggestions, feel free to throw them in the chat. If you want to see like product and packaging stuff, if you want to see branding stuff, if you want to see illustration, animation, let me know. It's kind of like very open at this point until I kind of lock down an idea. I'm planning on locking down an idea hopefully this weekend, so if you have any ideas, feel free to shoot them my way. Anything that you'd like to see a pro tips on, anything you have questions about. Obviously I'd like to keep it somewhat related to Illustrator since that's my main focus, but we work in all the software where we can do stuff in After Effects. I'm a little bit rusty in Photoshop, but we can do that. Fresco, sky's the limit. Alright, so, and then I'm also going to be hosting a guest that week too, so hang out with me. You're going to see a lot of my face coming up here shortly. Anyways, welcome, Evie. Hope you're having a great start to your weekend. We're just getting into it because I've talked way too much. I do need to look up a cactus, monkey's tail cactus. I really like how this one grows as well. Probably going to do something similar. We're going to create a brush for the cactus spines. And I am likely going to do one of these that has flowers on it. So these grow little flowers on them, little pink flowers that kind of open up. And I think that will help differentiate it a little bit from the burrow's tail, because they can look very similar. They're both kind of like cacti that are succulents that grow like sort of hanging down. So there we go. So I'll probably start with a base for that. We're gonna go with a, this is also gonna be kind of a light green. So I'm gonna use my light green from my swatches here. Actually, let's go into our group. So we're just kind of working with this. We'll start to add some of these. I'm gonna make these quite wide. These are really gonna be the base. And then I'm gonna add onto them the cactus spikes. We can vary these a little bit. Like this is one that I want to send to the back, so I'll make this maybe like a darker green. You know what? Let's pull these out of my group here. Go. I'll put this behind. And let's actually grab this shape and put it in front. Okay, there we go. Let's have one that comes kind of like all the way behind. Like you just see the very top of it. And then I'll do another one. Something like that. Alright. Let's do some of these in front. Oh, you know what? We're actually not going to be able to do that. We'll figure this out shortly. But I'm going to leave these in front. Otherwise, we're not actually going to be able to see them. Anybody have any fun plans for the weekend? Do anything exciting and or interesting? Actually kind of like that. Ooh. Let's lock that group. Oh, Odar says it's Junicorn Pride, Juneteenth, my anniversary, son's birthday, Father's Day, and a lot going on in June. Yeah, yeah, it sounds like it. I said earlier that I wanted to do something like last week on the stream, or maybe I was just talking to somebody in Discord, and I said that I really wanted to do something for Pride, but like, oh my goodness, there's so much going on. It's hard to keep up with it all. For sure. I am gonna make this one like sort of as if it's coming in front, and then I want another long one right here. And then I'm gonna do one more in the back. I do hope the weather is nice where you all are. It's been we're in like the very hot season of summer. Well, we're starting to get there anyways. It's like almost 90 here today. Alright, there we go. Ooh, oh darn, that's a good idea. You're gonna do a pride unicorn for a friend. Evie's asking what's unicorn. It's similar to mermaid, so you know how there's like, I don't know, I feel like this trend kind of started a while back on Instagram, where each month they'll kind of do like a play on words. So you've got like Inktober, right? And then you've got, I don't even remember all the other ones. There's obviously like mermaid. I think there's like a robot, like March is like a robot one. March of the Robots or something. So people come up with like different names. And so there's like a Junicorn is one. Last year we did a unicorn T-Rex for Junicorn. And I believe that was a year ago already. It doesn't seem like it, but I think it was. And so you can participate and obviously just hashtag Junicorn on social media or whatever. But yeah, similar to mermaid, if that helps. Okay, so we've got our base down. These spines. So it looks like there's kind of like two variations. There's some plants that have like really long spines on them, and then there's they almost look like furry. I don't know but and then there's also ones that have like shorter, like standard style cactus spines. I'm kind of leaning towards the shorter ones because I think those will read a little bit clearer as cactus. But we'll see. And they're going to be kind of like lighter colored, so. We're going to use a brush again to do this. Garrett's here! Hey! Evie has wanted to do a t-shirt design. So this could, for their middle child, so this could be a great motivation to get done, Junicorn. Yeah, I think I did a mock-up of a t-shirt that I never actually ended up getting done for the Junicorn T-Rex unicorn that we made. Let me see if I can pull it up really quickly. My Behance, so I can show you what's up there. It was fun. The whole inspiration behind it was that I had started trying to draw a unicorn for Junicorn, and it looked like a dinosaur, and so then we just kind of rolled with it. So I'm gonna pull this out. So we started with these, which are very normal looking unicorns, and then we drew this one, and it looked like it started looking like a T-Rex. Don't ask me how we got onto the topic. This is what happens when you live stream. You go in a way, and then you realize that it looks like a T-Rex, and then you just make it a T-Rex. So you can see here the t-shirt mock-ups of the unicorn. And then, oh yeah, we added a little crown. Do like the little crown touch there. A little sparkle going on. Made it look very fancy with the nice brush we had running through there. Oh yeah, and then we wrote "Be a Unicornosaurus in a field of unicorns." Unirex. That's a great one, RB. We didn't even think about that one when we came up with this. But yeah, this was like a year ago. It does not feel like it has been a year, but it has. It has been a year. Welcome, RB. So yeah, I don't have an answer other than like, this is what happens on stream, and you just roll with it. But we are gonna do these cactus spines as a brush, and I'm gonna start with, I actually think I'm gonna use the Polar Grid tool for this, And I'm just gonna remove all of the, so if I use the up and down arrows, you can see it as those radiating circles. I'm just gonna remove all of them, and I'm just gonna increase, I think I'm gonna go with, what is that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 lines or something like that. And then I'm gonna delete the outside. So this is a really handy way to like make, ungroup a set of lines, like so. I'm gonna change it to yellow, probably gonna decrease the yellowness of that. I'm gonna pull this off, it's gonna be easier to see over the darker color here, and then I'm just gonna scale this down and decrease the line weight. So you can see we've already kind of got a cactus, spiky, spiny thing going on. I might need to bring this down even further, yeah. And then we can just select inside of this group the top and the bottom and scale them up a little bit. Ooh, what did I do? I just exited out. There we go. Let's just, okay, yeah, that's what we want. Zoom in. Let's actually go totally out. We'll do this on our working layers. It's a little bit easier to see since it's getting a little convoluted. So back on our working layer here, we've got this tiny, tiny little spike. It's gonna make up our brush. It's probably totally unnecessary, but we're gonna also add the center where the spike kind of originates from. It has like a pink, like this kind of a pink to it. These are actually the colors of the flowers as well. I'll rotate that to be a diamond. Make this in back, and then I'm just gonna center. Alright, let's group that. Odari said, Odari taught me to draw a perfect stick figures. I think I missed something there. Evie saying, Unicornosaurus, love that. I'm thinking of doing a Unicornetto design. What is that? Let me know. When I search for Unicornetto, I get ice cream. So let me know if you're talking about this ice cream, which honestly looks delicious. And I love the color palette, so this would be a fun one to do for like Junicorn, to do like some kind of a ice cream brand thing or something. Could be fun. I like that idea. Alright, so we've got our little spiky spikes. I'm just gonna go ahead and make a brush out of this. It's gonna be a pattern brush, I think is what we used last time, yeah. Oh, you know what I need to do? So I kind of discussed this last time, but you can see if we zoom in here, the orientation of the pattern brushes is kind of going from left to right. It's going like sideways. And so if we leave it the way it is, it's actually going to arrange these so that the taller part is actually vertical across our brush. So it's just kind of something important to note. You want to rotate this before we make a brush, so that your spikes are going with the longer portion in the direction that you want them to go. Okay. We might end up modifying this depending on how it looks. I'm just gonna do a little sample here using the same brush. I might end up using kind of like a blend to create the lines. Alright, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to go into my brush settings, and I'm going to add some spacing. We're just going to keep going up until we get a pretty good amount of distance between these. 25 looks good. I might scale these down as well. I don't want them to be so small that you can't recognize them, but I do want them to be, so there's a little bit of stylization happening here, right? Like, they're not 100% what our cactus would look like in reality, but that's kind of the look we're going for everything. Same kind of with this. Like, it's not you know, exactly what this plant looks like. It's kind of like a stylization of it. So let's go in here. I want to throw this here. Oh, you know what? I do want to keep this outside. Alright, I need to do a group here of our outside leaves. I need to group our front and back leaves. And then I need to just kind of group everything. And then I'll isolate that whole group so we can work with it. Oh, Darius says, yeah, that's good. Yes. Is there a official Secret Society Sprinkle Society? Secret Society Sprinkles logo. Yesterday was International Donor Day. I want to put on my Mandalorian costume. Yes. There is a final version of that. That's another project I need to get back to. But I will work with you on that, Odari, and getting you what you need for that. So go ahead and message me if I don't remember. But we did end up with like a final version of it. I need to do some variations, but let's see if we can open that. I believe it's also a creative cloud file. Yeah. It's been a while. Oh, you know what? Maybe. Oh, yes, this is it. This is where we ended up with this. So this is done. This is the main brand. I just need to get back on it to, like, work on some, like, patch ideas and stuff like that. So, and yeah, we ended up keeping the little icons. Worked out well, I think, stylistically. The only thing that we didn't end up finishing, that I need to go through and finish, is I need to do dark versions of Gregory Forsyth Hemsworth III, the Donut-saur. So yeah, I need to pull all of this stuff out and just kind of finish it in terms of like the design elements. But yes, this is the final logo. This is the final brand. So I can work on putting something together for you. Maybe that can be a part of tomorrow's stream, since I don't know that the peristyle stuff is going to take me the whole time. We can do like a little patch mock-up for you, Odari, and I can get that off to you. This is where we're at. This is our official logo. So I'm satisfied with it. It's perfect. I love everything about it. I don't want to change anything about it. So that's what it's going to be. I also love Gregory. I think Gregory turned out so cute. So yes, this is another project that I need to get back to. Dino footprint pattern. Yeah, I remember that. Here you go. Evie, I think, wants me to add googly eyes. It's Ace. I see googly eyes, and which makes it even Acer. Oh, okay. You see Google eyes in the logo? Oh, that's funny. I didn't even think about that. I was going for an Ouroboros, a donut Ouroboros, and we went in so many directions with this. This was a long journey to get through this part of the process, but we did so many variations. And I went down we developed a whole concept that I then just completely killed and started over. So, because I wasn't happy with the way that this looked. So, yeah. And it's fine because it's a personal project, so I am fine with killing it. Bliss says, once you see it, you can't unsee it. The googly eyes? It's true. I don't mind the, analogy or the reference there. I don't mind. I think it's fine. You know, it's not meant to be like 100% serious. It's supposed to be a little silly, so I'm fine with it. But I wanted it to look, I don't know, I wasn't happy with the end result because it ended up looking too like silly the first time around. And then we we went back to it and refined it, and I love this. So, yes, Odari, just let me know what you need. Oh, you can print the sticker? You can, or I can send you a vinyl of it. Just send me the details if you want. If there's like a specific, I don't know what sort of, we can work this out. Like, if you want it to look like, kind of like a patch or something, you know what I mean? Like an actual decal, we can make that happen. I think this is the one that you had originally said you liked. I don't know if you want Gregory or you just want the straight up logo. Evie says they remind me of Cookie Monster's eyes though, so it fits. I love that. Yeah, Odara says, cool, I'll dress up with the logo on my Mando armor with a box of donuts. Cool cosplay, I can bring the stickers. Yes, just let me know what you need. We'll make it happen. I would be honored to have the Society of Sprinkles represented on your cosplay. Okay, back to this. I do think zooming out and seeing everything all together, I do want to edit this a little bit. So I'm going to pull out my brush window. Wherever it went. Where'd you go, brush window? Oh, it went all the way to the corner of my other screen. I don't know why it does that sometimes. I'm gonna pull this out, zoom in, and we're gonna lighten this up more. Now I can just take this whole group and I'll drag it in, holding down Option or Alt to replace my original brush. And I'll say apply to strokes. Now when we delete these, you zoom in, you can see that this is going to be a lighter color. Now there's two kind of ways we could go about the next step here. I'm going to take this brush, I'm going to do it tester here. I'm going to just paste in front. I'm going to go to Object, Path, Outline Stroke, delete the top, delete the bottom. Select both of these and go to Object and Blend, Make. Object, Blend, Options, Specified Steps. Alright, if this happens, sometimes it's a matter of just like making sure that both of your points are the same. There we go. And we'll apply our spiky brush to this. Let's try adding just one more blend step. Okay, that looks good. Zoom out. Obviously I need to make some adjustments to where these kind of like meet down here and where they kind of end. But I think this looks pretty good overall. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this whole group, copy and paste in front. We're just gonna start with the ones in front first. Object, Path, Outline Stroke. I'm gonna isolate this group and we're just gonna go through here and just kind of open up the ends of these. And then I'm gonna make a blend of everything. And then we're gonna use... Oh, okay. So Adari's saying, I just want the logo with the words Straggling was perfect. I like them all really. Send me whatever and I'll use it. Okay. I can do that. Did I lose one? I did. Okay. I've been so behind on stuff lately, I know. I need to get back. Oh, I lost another one. What the heck? I'm gonna do my selections a lot more careful. I do manage to get everything done eventually. At least, I hope. I try. So there you go. You can see that I have hidden the other ones in the background, but let's kind of go back out. Unless I deleted them. No, I didn't. Okay, well, that's good. I don't know. I'm going back and forth. Maybe I do just want 3 and to make them a little bit bigger again. So I'm going to go back into my brushes here. I'm just going to increase this a little bit. Maybe like 90. Just so they stand out a little bit more. I want to do... Oh, Darius says, I want to do a call in Mando gear with a box of donuts. Donut DeLorean. I do love that concept, and I'm happy to make that happen for you. Right, we're gonna ungroup now. And I'm gonna just copy and paste these so that they end up kind of going where I want them to go, essentially. Which may require some restructuring here. So let's go into our group, isolate this group, put this behind, grab this, put this behind. This is also gonna go behind. So we're just kind of making sure I've got these organized correctly so that you can see where they kind of overlap correctly. Always important to kind of like remember that Illustrator operates on these sort of layers and objects that need to be, there's flexibility in being able to like reorganize those layers, but it's just kind of a little bit different. I don't know. It's I think it takes some getting used to. You're not just kind of like painting directly on, you're kind of working with objects, right? Alright, I'm gonna go back in here and fix this up. We're gonna make another group here, copy and paste, object, path, outline stroke. I'm gonna isolate this, open up these, and I'm gonna make another set of blends for these background ones. Yeah, I'm gonna leave those. Another thing to be just kind of aware of is that with blends, it's important to have the same number of like points, and also that the starting point, the origin point of your path has to be in the same spot. So if this path here is where the Illustrator thinks the line starts, if it differs, so that it thinks the line is the opposite way over here, it's gonna try to blend across those two lines versus like nicely between them. So I'm just gonna kind of demonstrate that with this. So we're here to go to object and blend make. Now you can see here that it thinks that the start and end points are both consistent, but if you kind of come in here and you like switch them. Wrong line. Illustrator can sometimes get confused and have a hard time. It's easier to see with a box. Let's do that. So if you start with a box here, open up the box, right? You've probably seen this before and wondered what you did wrong. Blend, make, right? This is now blending across those two shapes because they don't have the same points. So if we just click, now both of these are starting on the left and ending on the right. So they're operating correctly. But if for some reason you see it and it looks like this, that just means that this point is blending to this point, and then this point and this point. So they're blending across each other versus like having the same start and end points. They blend seamlessly down each other. So that's just kind of like a little bit of a pro tip there for you for working with blends. If you work with them and you've ever had that happen, that's how you fix it. I know that I'm going to need to adjust this one, but I want to adjust those center points anyways because I want to make them a little bit longer. So it's not really a big deal for me. I'm just trying to make this a little bit easier on myself. If I really wanted to keep it a blend for some reason, I could just like go in here and play with the blend settings, but it's not that big of a deal to me to have them be perfectly centered. Alright. So for example, we're going to go to Object, Blend, and now we're going to go to Expand. Release will just release the blend entirely, which is not what we want to do. Just gonna pull this out so it's centered between these two lines, and then I want to go down here and I want to extend this one so that goes, you know, to the bottom essentially. And we'll do that with all of these. It's not, I mean, obviously you're not going to see the bottom of this one, but kind of manually adjusting things. And we'll do the same on the blends in this front group as well. We'll do select same appearance, and it should select all of my blends. We'll go up to Objects, Expand Appearance. No, not Expand Appearance. What am I doing? Object, Blend, Expand. If you expand appearance, it's going to expand into shapes, and then it won't keep your blend in some cases, so don't do that. That was just me talking and thinking at the same time, and sometimes that doesn't work. Alright. We could also just kind of extend it like this if we wanted to. Sometimes it doesn't give me a point where I want it to be, though. And then the next step we'll do here is adding some flowers. I'm sure someone will say these look really stylized and don't look like the cactus at all, but you know, I'm not going for hyper-realism here. We're going for stylization, right? So, certainly add more shading to this if we want to, but I just kind of want to get the plants in and then go back in and add details. I know that we need to add some shading to our poor Monstera plant here. The Monstera was the first plant that we did, so it kind of got the short end of the stick when it comes to details. And then I probably want to go in and do something similar to this, where we add some sort of like darks along that inside edge of the cactus branches. But for now, we're going to move on to the flowers and we can go back. These are some wild flowers, by the way. They're like really... we're gonna add this. I don't think I added this color in my color palette. I'm gonna go ahead and add this. You can see that the purple is there, just not the that hot pink. Alright, and then I'm gonna use primarily this pink, but we're gonna add some like hot pink accents. Let's see if we can find a good close-up of these flowers. That is super tiny, not a good close-up. Okay, let's go with... this is pretty good to get an idea of what the general shape looks like. Let's also start with... I'm gonna use the stroke width tool for this, actually, probably, and a polar grid. So we're gonna start with the polar grid. I'll apply this to my lines. Delete the outer circle. Then we can go here, and we can open up our stroke panel, or close it. Come on. To get more options, I'm gonna need to make this maybe something like this. And I'm gonna increase the size of it. Let's actually try this, because it does start, it gets thinner towards the center, and I kind of want to show that, where they kind of meet in the middle. But we're obviously going to have like the stamen over top of that. Odara says, natural light on your face cam. It looks cool. Yeah, I have, like I said, I can't wait. You'll have to tune in. So I'm going to be streaming on Adobe Live. Like I said, I'm hosting Isabelle Poirier on the 7th, which is Wednesday. And you'll be able to see my new background. So we kind of rearranged my setup so that first of all, I need the sun to survive. And so having my desk the other way around before, I actually had to have it like blocking my window, so I never got any sun. And in the winter it was terrible. So I now am turned so that I'm getting some lovely sunlight, which makes me, you know, a very happy human. I'm just photosynthesizing over here. We're getting vitamin D. And I also have a new backdrop, so if you check out my stream, Odari's Donuts Jedi will be behind me. I have some shelves up there, so you'll get to see all kinds of lovely things that I wasn't able to do before because I had the opposite end of the room behind me, and so you couldn't actually see any of the beautiful artwork. So now I'll be able to have it all on display behind me. It'll be super cool, and I'm excited about that. But you'll have to tune in. I keep the... I use the green screen on my personal streams because I feel like it's better to have more... I'm not the focus of these streams. I mean, you guys come here because you enjoy my witty banter. But I have more of my interface behind me, so you can actually see what I'm doing with, like, this way. The, like, stroke panel and stuff like that. I don't know. I think I prefer having more of the interface and less of me, less of my background and environment. But you know, obviously when I stream in Adobe Live, I don't have the green screen down, so you can see more. But Hasene, let me know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. Welcome. I also want to do a big thank you to all of the people who did a follow here. We've got Simo and Laura Lee. Thank you so much for the follow. I can't forget to do that. Bam! Donuts. So yes, I'm very excited about my new setup. And we can all thank Corey for the assistance on that, because it wasn't going to happen if it was just on me. I would have put it off forever. So Hasene is saying, it's my first time using Behance. Can you explain me what it's for? So are you talking about just Behance in general, or are you talking about what we're doing on the live stream? So Behance is kind of like a portfolio, social network site, job board, live streaming. You know, there's a lot of stuff going on here. So we've also got the challenges. We've got Adobe Live. So you can watch all of these videos on the live tab, and most of them are either going to be people like me who are streamers here on Behance, just streaming their own kind of personal work. Everybody has their own kind of unique style. Everybody's kind of working in their own particular software. I'm working in Illustrator today on these plants. Some people are working on client work. I'll probably be working on client work tomorrow. Some people are just working on personal projects. So you can kind of check out what everybody's doing on the live streaming tab. You can also post your own work on your own kind of like personal portfolio, or you can browse using the Discover panel and find new people on Behance and see their work. So those are, you've also got the Adobe live streams and the challenges and stuff like that, where you can kind of learn the software as well. So yeah, that's a general rundown of Behance. Yes, Hasina is asking, can I hire someone to make a logo and develop a website? You can. There is, if you go to behance.net/joblist, that's where you can find the job board, and where you can find out more information about how you can upload a job. And then people can either apply, or you can send out, I believe there's a way through the freelancing interface where you can like send a message request to somebody, with that job posting and say like, are you interested in this? And you can start like a freelance transaction over via Behance. It's like a new ecosystem. I've only actually interacted with it one time, but you can, yes, Corey's got a link there if you want to check it out. You can find out more information on how that all works. Like I said, I'm not super familiar with it, but I have interacted with it like at least one time. Alright, so we've got this. I'm actually going to go ahead in here now and go to outline my stroke, because I want to add a sort of lighter, we're gonna add like our darker pink maybe to the outside of the leaves and leave a little bit of that lighter pink on the inside. And we're also going to use our shape tool here to add the darker pink here. It's actually going to drop down to our lighter pink. It's going to be even lighter than the outside. So we're going to pull the swatch down a little bit. And then it actually gets dark again in the center. And I also think I want to do for this, there's like some shorter leaves in the background, and so I also want to round the ends of some of these off. So let's grab both of these. Looks like it's gonna make me do it this way, which is fine. Use the corner radius tool if I can. Oh no, doesn't want to cooperate. Alright, well let's start with the outside. And just drag these in a little bit. And then we'll go in here and drag these in a little bit. And then, group these, copy and paste them back. Scale them down a little bit, and just do a rotate on these. And with that in mind, I'm actually going to make these lighter. I'll make the centers here probably a little bit too detailed, but Hasine, thank you so much for the follow. I really appreciate it. Here be dragons. Who's that? That name is familiar to me. Thanks for following, Hasine. Really appreciate it. Yes, Corey's sending all the links if you want to find me in all the places. You can find me at that jackwatson.design/links. And subscription stuff, and you can follow me here on Behance and all that jazz. So, yes, CW Dragons was on a stream a long time ago. I do remember you visiting before. I just didn't know. Sometimes people will come from the Discord, and their Behance names are not the same names that I interact with on the Discord. And so sometimes I get a little bit confused by that. But it sounds like you're just stopping by from before, and I'm glad to see you back. Back hanging out with me. You might have seen the plants that we've been intermixing it up with plants and branding, so among other things. But we're sort of coming to the conclusion of those projects in many ways, so expect to see some new stuff in the future. Adari so kindly reminded me about that I am slacking in my duties regarding the Society of Sprinkles and stuff. So we have to get back on that. Alright, I'm gonna add just some flowers in here. Scale these down. We'll add some in here. You know, if we wanted to add a little bit of perspective, we could, using our envelope to sort and stuff like that. I might just, like, do just a little bit of something to these, not too dramatic. Scale them down a little bit. They're not, like, super huge. They are kind of, like, spaced out in like these little clusters. I do think I want to keep that. So let's undo. Let's do something like this first, and then rotate. We could also add a little bit of like a shadow to these. So I'm just gonna copy and paste in front. I'm gonna cut. I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna say merge. Paste in front. I actually think I want to go this way. With it, we will decrease the opacity on this. I'm actually going to make this probably closer to the color of my plants here. Pull it in a little bit. Doesn't need to be too crazy. And then we would just use this. Let's see, where are you? Object, path, outline stroke, pull this out, and we would paste this in front and use a clipping mask. Add a little bit of a shadow to offset them from the plant. Homocorn's here. Welcome, Homocorn. Corey and Nick are lamenting about how they can relate to having a lot of unfinished projects. Nick says, looks at 7 gigs of unfinished projects and cries in logic. Well, you know, that's how it be sometimes. I feel like that's, you know, that's okay. It's fine. We're all doing our best. Unicorn says, these look great! Yay! Thank you. I'm so glad you like them, Unicorn. We're making our way. We're very close. This is our last, like, big plant. And then we're gonna just have some fun with adding the jellyfish airplanes in, which should be fun. I have a little bit of a plan for that. We're probably gonna make some, maybe we'll do some sea stars. You know, this all comes full circle because I believe Colby, who was in one of the first streams we did for this in the chat, had asked for some water plants, like some underwater plants. And so we may not have gotten there with the underwater plants, but we can do some jellyfish and sea star air plants to kind of like, you know, so we made it. Unicorn says, oh, saving the jellyfish for last. Yeah, we are. Yes, we are. I'm just going to do an arrangement of some of these, and then I'm going to go back through and, you know, kind of finalize it. If that makes sense. I don't want to do like each one of these individually. I'm going to kind of place them and then go back in and do some scaling and such. Or I mean some skewing, not scaling. And add the clipping masks and everything. You know, I don't want to go overboard with it. Unicorn likes Bliss's new avatar. I haven't seen it. Well, I can see it, but I haven't like seen it, you know, up close. Let's take a look at what we got going on here. Also, Bliss and Unicorn and Odari are all streamers on Behance, so be sure to go and check out their work. Give them a follow. Yeah, Odari is telling Unicorn that he did starfish air plants, which I have a picture of, so I can show you. There they are! Look at that. Love that. Yes, Unicorn says, you bought some? Yes, Odari bought some. I have air plants, but I don't have any, I didn't get any jellyfish holders for them, but yeah. There you go. Odari's on top of it. Alright, so just kind of some words of wisdom while I'm working away here. What I like to do when I'm, you know, when I've been working on these plans, I'm just kind of following the natural perspective of how these would lay against the surface. I'm not really, as you can see, I'm not even like looking at my reference anymore. I'm just kind of like figuring out how these would be positioned. Right, so if you're looking at the front here, this one I'm imagining is kind of on the side. So as it turns into space, that side that's coming towards the viewer would obviously be larger and they'd be smaller, kind of farther back. And then this would be kind of like skewed in a little bit. So that's kind of the logic that I'm using, is imagining where these are kind of placed on top here. And I'm just kind of making some adjustments from there. So for this one, for example, maybe it's a little bit closer to the front, so it wouldn't be as exaggerated. In terms of the perspective, just be a little bit... Actually, I think I'm going to move this maybe the other way. we go. And then we'll do one final adjustment. That will be the clipping masks. So if you go back and watch the replays, which I've got links to in the description of the video here, if you go check out the description where you'll find those links, you can see me doing a very similar thing here with all of the other leaves and the plants that we added. In some cases, I used the envelope distort on them to add even more of a wave. So we started with, for example, I think our peace lily is one. No, not our peace lily. We did all those by hand. The Monstera is a perfect example of. This is the same 2 leaves that we used throughout the whole plant. I just used the envelope distort and to add a little bit of a curve to some of them, like this one kind of bends up and out, this one kind of bends over and down, to add some motion to them across. And then I also used these free transform tools, which are some of my favorite tools in Illustrator, if I'm being honest with you, because ain't nobody got time to do all that perspective by hand. I don't know about you all. And yeah, that's all we did. It's just kind of making each one of these feel unique, even though they're the same exact piece of artwork. You gotta save time. You gotta use these little time savers as much as you can when you're working. Nothing wrong with that. Cheesing it. And I did this one backwards again. Of course I did. Thank you. I'm just, the pop-up notification just zipped on past me. Sheik Sujan Design, let me know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. Thank you for the follow. I really appreciate all of the follows. And since we're about halfway through, Odari wanted me to let everybody know that his son is watching as well, Odarius, and is also a streamer. So Odari and his son stream side by side, sort of like a little art battle on the weekends. So be sure to check that out. Yes, Odari makes up the Saturday lineup. Although Sarah Mace has been away for a while. I know Sarah's got a lot going on. Personally, I still talk to her. Sarah's been dealing with Sarah's been busy in a good way. A lot of freelance stuff going on, so it's good for her. Hopefully she'll be back to streaming here on Behance soon. We'll see. But, you know, that's how it be sometimes. I totally get it. But shout out to Odarius. I think it's awesome to get into streaming when you're so young. I think I talked about last week about the benefits of streaming and how they really help you not only develop your skills, because it's kind of like setting aside time to practice your craft. I've mentioned before that I would never do stuff, you know, for personal work. I would just do work all the time if it wasn't for these streams on Behance. They give me kind of like an excuse to, you know, create what I want to create, kind of a thing. But anyways, they're also a great way to kind of develop your communication skills at the same time, because you have to like learn how to talk about your craft, talk about your work, your process and everything while you're actually working, which can be difficult, but also just makes you better at explaining and teaching and all those things that are really important life skills. So good on you for getting into it, and it will help you out in life for sure. Really important stuff. I lost my train of thought. I feel like I started talking about something else before. Oh, I did want to mention, since we're about halfway through, I'm gonna stream. I don't think I mentioned how long I'm gonna stream for, so I want to let everybody know. I stream from 4 to 6 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. So whatever that kind of translates to in your time zone. So we've been streaming for about an hour. I'm gonna stream for about another hour. But I'll be back tomorrow, same time frame, same place. So I'll also be streaming here on Behance tomorrow if you want to come hang out. We'll be working on a branding project tomorrow, I think, instead. I'm going to be working on Parastyle. I mentioned at the beginning of the stream that we're in a good spot with that and ready to kind of, like, dive into finalizing the brand at least. Maybe not. The packaging still has some work to go, but that's what we're going to be doing tomorrow. Ashika, welcome. Also, good evening to you, my friend in the chat. Unfortunately, I can't read Arabic, so I apologize, but welcome, and I hope you're enjoying the stream. But I wanted to mention that I'll be hosting, so I'm going to be hosting Isabelle Poirier, aka Izzy, this upcoming week on Wednesday, so come and hang out with us. I'm pretty sure it's going to be like a Adobe Illustrator and Express crossover, which I'm really interested in seeing that workflow. Obviously, Adobe Express has been on my radar for a long time. It's just a matter of, like, jumping fully into it, you know what I mean? Which I have not done. I need to do a stream about it just so I can kind of, like, dedicate time to it. But I'll be hosting a Pro Tips the week after, so Tuesday, I think it's a Monday or Tuesday. It'll be June 12th, which is a Monday. I'm hosting a Pro Tips in the afternoon. I don't have a plan for it yet. I can certainly come up with a really fun idea to show you guys, some part of my workflow or, some of these pro tips that we're going over here on the stream. But if you guys have anything, I always like to kind of, like, tailor those streams to things that you guys are interested in. So if there's any particular workflow, any subject, anything that you're kind of, like, interested in right now, or anything that you want to learn more about, things that you've seen me do on stream, just things that you are interested in general, please throw them in the chat, let me know, or send me a message. I'm happy to kind of tailor those pro tip streams to what you guys want to see, because that's, obviously the most important thing. I don't want to be teaching a pro tips on something that nobody's interested in. So let me know if you have anything you're interested in. We can do branding, we can do product stuff, we can do illustration stuff, animations, really kind of like opening it up to whatever you want. Or, if nobody has any suggestions, you'll just have to deal with whatever I want to show. So, there you go. That's my spiel. And I'm just going to go ahead here, and I am going to just very quickly copy and paste all of these. And I'm using the Pathfinder and Unite here because I want to make these be my shadows. So you can see down here how I did these. We're going to do the same process, but we're going to do it sort of like kicking it up a notch so that we can get them all done at once. And I'm doing good. How are you doing today in the chat? Let me know. Mooncorn says, just deal with it. Quote from Jack Watson. Yeah, it's true. If you don't have any suggestions, I'm just gonna have to figure something out. Stian made it! Stian says, hello. Fell asleep on my couch like the potato I am. That's what the weekends are for. You gotta make time for yourself, Stian. Jen says, this looks awesome! I'm happy that you all are loving this. That makes me happy. I'm glad you're enjoying the stream. I don't think that added any opacity, so we're gonna go back in here and do a 25. No, I didn't do 25. I must have done 50. There we go! I'll probably do another reminder about pro tips and providing me suggestions for that. before we get to the end of the stream today, or at the end of the stream, so sorry for those who are here. You know, I gotta make sure I let everybody know. Stiana, I hope you're having a great weekend, by the way. We threw this together really quickly, cheesing it, as I said. Just using brushes to make the spikes. And we made a single flower and just used our skew tools with the pre-transform to set it up in place. Evie says, it looks like Evie's thinking, for your stream I'd love to know about ... question. Yeah. I mean, I don't shy away from a challenge, so if honestly the sky is the limit for suggestions. It looks like it's nice, but the lesson is so tall and the real beautiful. If you want to go back and watch the replays, I do have all of the replays on my Behance. I've also got links to them in the description. I know, speaking of, I do want to pull this up again. Allison, another friend from the Illustrator Discord, has been following along and actually creating their own version of the plants. So this is what Allison's been working on. If you all want to create your own kind of like plants, if you're feeling inspired by what I'm doing, and it doesn't have to be an Illustrator, you know, I say, like, if you like what we're doing and you feel like inspired and you want to make something, go for it. I'd love to see it. If you want to share it with me, if you're friends with me on the Discord or on social media or something, you want to tag me, if you just want to send it to me privately to show me, I'm happy to look at it as well. But if you do want to share it with me and you're okay with me sharing it on the stream, I'd be happy. I always make sure I got Allison's permission to share this with you on the stream. Allison's been working on this stems brand for a really long time. She's developed it through the challenges, the Illustrator challenges, and created this lovely plant store mock-up for the brand that kind of incorporates some of the lessons that I've been doing over here on the stream with all of the, you can see Allison's peace lilies. Allison actually gave me a little bit of sass about the peace lilies and told me, like, your peace lilies are not quite as the right shape of the leaves, which is great. I love that. I'm so glad. Allison knows a lot about plants, and had some suggestions which I thought were really fun. Like, really, it's very nice. I appreciate it. I appreciate the suggestions. She also wanted me to point out to me the reflection that she added to make this look like a mirror, which I thought was really a clever way to do that. You know, you've got the gradient there, but adding that reflection, it's just kind of like these little details that Allison obviously picked up on doing so many of the Illustrator challenges. You can kind of really see the development in her work, which is really cool to see. Allison's kind of really developed this unique style. A lot of her work kind of looks like this. I'm going to see if I can pull up another one of her pieces that she did recently. This is the kind of stuff that's fun for me. Obviously, I love teaching the challenges and all of that, but it's fun to see, like, people's personal growth. Like, here's another one from Allison. She's sort of developed this really unique style that's all her own, and, like, also just, I love the, like, people, like, she's developed this, like, style of illustrating people that I think is really cool, with these, like, funky, kind of simplified backgrounds, and, like, lots of texture and pattern in the people that she illustrates, so that's been cool to see, kind of develop over time. Yeah, everybody's giving Allison compliments. That looks cool. I would shop there. Oh, nice. Yeah. Umacorn's also done my challenges in the past. Umacorn did, like, a whole series of animal stamps, which I don't have, like, pulled up. If you go to Umacorn's page, you can also see Umacorn's live streams and see all of the stamps that Umacorn did. Let me see. You also posted them on Instagram, Umacorn. Let me see if I can pull that up really quickly. And I love to show off your work. If you participate in the challenges with me and you share them, or you just play, illustrate something, and say like, I was really inspired by your. Why can I not find your account, Unicorn? Let me try just on Behance. Let's take a look. See if we can find it really quickly. Yeah, see what I'm saying? Notice like how much is going on in the background, but it's still bounced. Yeah. I'm trying to find. Here's Unicorn's profile. Oh, here's your Instagram. Oh, because you've got a different name. Oh, here we go. So here's like these. I think you did. Yeah, these are from the fruit illustrations. The 2D to 3D. Everybody really liked 3D challenges. I thought those were really challenging for me to come up with, but it was really nice to like. I feel like not a lot of people really utilize the 3D tools as much, so it was nice to be able to kind of like do a deep dive on those. And yeah, Umacorn also went above and beyond on these, and I only did one. I did the strawberry. Umacorn did a whole bunch of fruit. It was really cool. Yeah, Umacorn hasn't shared them yet except for the Illustrator Discord. I'm not gonna go try and dig into that right now, but if you want to join the Illustrator Discord and you want to check out all this cool stuff that's going on, and you want to follow Umacorn because Umacorn is a live streamer who does amazing work, do that. Plus, we've got Bliss and Odari, who we already talked about, also doing amazing work on Behance as well. I have done a pro tips on, not on the I did a pro tips on the classic 3D, and we did the isometric castle. I haven't done a pro tips on new 3D, but I feel like somebody did. Yeah, Umacorn saying I could have done it better with the lighting. The new 3D tool is pretty cool. Yeah, well, I think that set of streams I did was before the new lighting system came out. And so now that you've got, obviously, the new lighting system and you can add the multi-lights, you could do some really interesting stuff with that. I don't think that was out at the time when we did those streams, unfortunately. Alright, we're gonna go in here now. And we're just gonna grab these. These in front. Object, path, outline stroke, and I'm just gonna use a clipping mask on this. And that's how we're gonna keep the shadows just cropped to that. So the shadows from our plants are too far away from the background to have any impact, like they would dissipate before you actually saw the cast shadows behind there. You might see the cast shadows from these, and that would be a whole different thing. It depends on how detailed you want to get, and I've talked about this before, like you don't have to include every detail. In this case, I do want to add the cast shadows from the flowers onto the cactus, because I think it's helping them stand out and have a little bit more definition, so it's kind of like a personal choice as to how much detail I include or don't include on something. But I could add some cast shadows from the actual plants against the pot, but the reason I'm adding those the clipping masks is because I don't want the cast shadows from the flowers, like you can see here, to extend to the background, because the background would be so far away that those cast shadows wouldn't actually hold up and be that far. But for these, they would be, because they're closer to the plants. So, and I'm gonna go in here and add this one to this clipping mask. Let's go down here and just add it to this group. There we go. Sion says I definitely need to finish my simple soap brand, and then I'll definitely jump on this plant business. Ooh, yay! So Sion's a subscriber, actually, and once I'm done with this project, another just, task that I have to do. I need to I want to put up the haunted larder. I don't think that's the proper name for it. I don't remember what we ended up calling that. But I have that project ready to go. I just need to absolutely finish it and get it, launched. But this one, too, I'm going to pop this up as a subscriber project. I do like to share that kind of stuff, the stuff that I do here on the stream that's kind of like personal work, with subscribers, and give the source files. So I'm going to clean this up and give a source file. Generally how I do it is giving you the file that's the artwork, but also giving you a file that's got all of the assets. So I'll pull out all of these brushes that we made, and you can kind of follow along with the stream to see how we use them to set up all of the plants, and you can feel free to use these. Anything that I give to subscribers, you can use, I've had people ask before in the past, like, can I use these brushes in, like, my work? Do I have to, like, pay some kind of licensing fee? No, there's nothing like that. You can feel free to use these brushes in your work if you want to. They're for you. You subscribe to me, so as a part of, being a subscriber, feel free to use those brushes. I'll include the plants and stuff like that. You can feel free to take the plants. You can, like, recolor them, use pieces of parts, break them apart. One of the benefits to having files like this is you can sort of, like, investigate how I built things. And I feel like that's really valuable to if you're, learning how to use Illustrator, to see how things are set up. So you can kind of become a better illustrator. So that's always my goal, is like, I want to provide these to you as a way for you to kind of learn, and obviously for supporting me by subscribing, because I appreciate that. I haven't had as much time to dedicate to all that stuff. I know that I'm very behind on it. It's been a crazy time, but I appreciate all of you, and I do need to get back on top of all of that in the future. Corey and I were literally just talking about how I need to get back on that. And Odari reminding me about the Society of Sprinkles. I want to do stuff with my Cricut for that. I know that I owe people as well. Like, I owe Odari subscriber mail and Stian. I just need to get back to it. Corey needs to motivate you with more donuts. I need, like, an army of me. Like, I need another person in order to get all the things that I want done. I was like, I'll also do something for Pride this month. It's probably not going to happen. Not that I don't, like, I want to do all these things. It's just, I need more of me. Yes, I also owe Corey stickers for Grok of Time, that we started working on. I have so much to do, you guys. I appreciate all of your patience with me. I am gonna get that, the Society of Sprinkle stuff to Odari ASAP, though, because that's really important to me. I want to make sure that you've got that. I'll try to make a... Oh, I don't want all of that. Let's do a double click. Nope, let's not. Let's find that group. I can get that out. On top of, like, getting all of that stuff out to subscribers eventually. I don't know. See, the problem with the Society of Sprinkle stuff, I know that I need to send Odari, like, a, what he needs, but I can't decide if I want to do for that, like, stickers or vinyl decals or, like, I feel like it really needs patches, and patches are not only expensive, but, like, just, I have to figure out, like, how to order what I need. Oh, this one needs a flower. Oh, Stian says, I always find out, I want to do event stuff when it's too late. Like, I always want to make Christmas cards on Christmas Day because I'm late in the mood. Yeah, you have to, like, do that stuff in advance. My trouble is that I like to stream it. So, like, I like to stream the, stuff in the season that we're in. So, like, when we do the Halloween stuff, it's become a tradition ever since 3 years now. 3 years, going on 3 years at least, 3 or 4 years now. We've done a Halloween haunted house of some kind. So we did like the haunted library. We did the haunted cabin with Marble the owl. We did a little sprinkle witch. So we've done like a haunted thing each year, and I'm gonna keep doing that. But they end up getting more and more elaborate every year, and also more like. I try to do it for like the full month, right? So I try to do from like all of October. I'm gonna do the haunted thing. And so by the time I get to the end of it, it's like the end of October already. And I would rather do the stream of it in the actual month. It just, it does kind of make things a bit of a challenge. So, it is what it is. But if I wasn't doing it on stream, I totally would do it in advance so that I could be prepared for the season ahead, Yeah, Stian says maybe I should set up a calendar so I get reminders in advance. Evie says, I don't stream, but I do have a Patreon, so I make things for my Patreon patrons. Postcards, but I'm wondering if it's worthy making stickers too. How eco-friendly are they? I don't know what kind of setup you have. I was doing the whole, like, whenever I saw, like, a deal on Sticker app, I would, grab a bunch. But, that being said, I do not have a Cricut machine, and so that makes it a lot easier to do that kind of stuff. I have a Cricut machine, I have a large format printer, and I have a 3D printer, too. So, we've got a bunch of stuff. So, anyways, the point is that, like, if you can do them yourselves, you can kind of control that a little bit more, so you don't have to do, like, order, like, 100 stickers, right? You can just get, manage them as needed, kind of a thing. Obviously, there's, like, a cost up front to, like, being able to do that in terms of, like, the equipment. That's kind of the downside. And then I also, I have dreams of, like, having a shop, which we've sort of started the process for doing that, me and Corey, with the website, but, like I said, I need to clone myself in order to get all this stuff done. If anybody knows how that can happen, please do tell. How I can clone myself to get more accomplished. I'm all ears. Yeah, we did the sun catcher. That was the rainbow sun catchers, which got a lot of traction. That video that I don't know if you guys. So I did a subscriber project where I created these like sun catchers out of like this special prism paper that you can use in your Cricut. And I recorded the whole process of me doing it. We designed the sticker on stream, and they're like peelable. Like the vinyl is like you can peel it off and stick it. It's reusable kind of a thing. We did all of that. That reel that I did, I got like 30,000 views on that. It was wild. So I know that like I need to do more of that stuff. I just need to duplicate myself at the same time. Like, I would love to, now that I have another one of my dream goals, since we're just talking about dream goals that I have now. I have, obviously I have this space behind me. The other great thing about this space now, even though you can't see it really, I also really move this camera down. I feel like I keep talking and all. Anyways, I have my Cricut now right behind me. And so we could, theoretically, I've also got like this the secondary camera up here that I can actually like change the position of and stuff. Anyways, we could do a Cricut project where we go straight from designing to the actual printing. So like we could do a day where we like design something, and then the next stream we like kind of let it go while we work on something else or something like that, and then like once it's done I can go through the whole like assembly process. Showing how they get built. I think it would be a fun stream, but again, like, it's a dream, right? And it took me forever to get the setup to where I can have the Cricut bot in the shot with me, because before it was on the other side, and, you know, yeah. Eve says, yeah, so you do them from home, that's cool. Yes. And Sean saying, I would definitely go to a large printer company. They might have alternatives for, effects paper stickers without coating. Yeah, I did do some stickers that did not have a coating on them. It's kind of like my first test round of the Cricut. Those were the owl stickers that I did. I don't have them handy, but I did do some owl stickers that were just paper finish instead of coating. Just as a test to see how it would go. And I did send those to subscribers. I do have to make more, and that worked out well. But yeah, if you have a large format printer, which I happened upon getting because the studio that had the printer was shutting down, and so I just had to like get it across town, and that was a whole ordeal. Thank you to Nick and Corey for their assistance on this endeavor, and Kira. But anyways, I have done, the other benefit to that is that you can do like, you can do like sticker sheets. You could like print a ton of stuff and then cut and then run it through the Cricut and all that. So anyways, there you go. I still owe Nick a print too. So I used to have these, I believe I owe you a print of, I have it written down. I think you wanted the Sonic print? So, another tangential thing. Those prints will never be for sale. Because I did a series of like video game art posters. And they're really cool and beautiful, but I did have them for sale on Society 6. And I got a cease and desist from Nintendo telling me to take them down. So, the Sonic and Zelda and Mario posters I did, even though they're not like direct rip-offs, they're very much just like fan art representations. They're very representational. Those will never be for sale, but Nick will get one because as a thank you for helping me. But yeah, none of those are up anymore. I had to take them all down. It's kind of unfortunate. I think they're still on my website. If you want to go see what they look like, I just can't sell them. So, yeah. So I don't like Society 6 anymore, and we don't use them. But they were really beautiful posters. We did a whole bunch. Here, let me just pop them all up so you can see what I'm talking about. So we did. So here's the first one I did. This was, this is actually in my living room. I have an enormous print of this one. And then we did, this was Mario. So you can see it's not 100%, it's representational. This is obviously meant to be Bowser. You've got the little ship up here, and a little Mario. This is the one that Nick wants. This is everybody's favorite. I think everybody loves the Sonic print. This was an enormous project with the background details and everything we got going on here. But they're not for sale. You can't buy them. Sadly, Nintendo has to ruin all the fun. And then we did Crash Bandicoot, and then we did the Happy's mask salesman from Majora's Mask. So there we go. And there's my website. Yeah, everybody loves them, but nobody can have them. So if you manage to order one prior to them getting taken down, you have a copy of one of the only ones that are out there. And then I have the giant print in my house, but otherwise nobody has them, sadly. That was many years ago they were available. Corey says, yeah, a long time ago, unfortunately. Nick just sweet little. Yeah, I will get that to you, Nick. It's on my to-do list. I have a giant to-do list with all of the stuff that I'm talking about that I keep, so I don't forget everything, because otherwise I would. SLP price, I don't, Brie? I think that's Brie. Let me know, look for sure, but I think that's Brie. Welcome. Yeah, that's the only time that I've ever gotten any kind of like copyright strike or a cease and desist was for those posters from Nintendo. I don't know if I should be honored or angry. I was pretty angry, to be honest with you. Like, man, there are people that have like straight up just like game art on Society 6. Like, they don't even try to like hide it. And there's me like making this beautiful piece of artwork that I spent tons of time on and like effort, and they're like, no, you gotta remove that one. Thanks, Nintendo. Bree, I don't know why every time I like feel like I'm not gonna get your name right, but I try. It's not for lack of remembering who you are. I just sometimes do in a struggle. Horse says you could offer them as phone wallpapers, maybe. Yeah, maybe. I'm just like paranoid. I don't even want to mess with it. Are these all? Okay, these are all like that. Yeah, part of me is like, oh, thank you for noticing me, Nintendo, but part of me is like, or you could, like, be like, wow, those are really cool. We're so glad that you loved our game so much that you wanted to make artwork of it. No, they were big meanies about it, which is fine. It's their IP, they're allowed to be. I'm just going in here now and, here, I'll do this so it's easier to see. Doing what I said I wasn't going to do on stream, which is adding these shadows in, but I feel like it's going to really help if I just do this. Yeah, Bliss. Bliss is saying if I ran, or no, Stian. Stian's saying if I ran Nintendo, I would have bought them for my headquarters. Yeah, get on it. I'll even provide them. That would be a dream job. I don't know. I feel like maybe it would be, or maybe it's not. I don't know. It's hard to say. The games industry is so hit or miss. Umukorn says, if it's better than what we have, you're not allowed to have it. Nintendo. It's kind of true. We could consider offering them. I could maybe consider offering them as phone wallpapers. I just don't want them to be like, nah, come back and sass me again, you know? It's my fear is like, they're gonna be like, we told you not to. Don't do it again. I don't wanna rock the boat too much. I mean, I do like Nintendo. They produce some of my favorite games. I have a Zelda tattoo, okay? So. Yeah, better be careful with the big cops, Umukorn says. I agree. Alright, so now I've got a bunch of weird looking shapes. We can go back into this group here. Ungroup them. I'll probably tone these down. It's just kind of meant to be a transition across. Is anybody playing Tears of the Kingdom, by the way, or is it just me? Am I the only one? Let me know in the chat if you played it all. Corey's doing that right now. Oh, thanks. I don't know. At least you're playing right now, so that I don't have any spoilers. I'm just gonna say that. All right, there we go. That's a little bit of dimension. Helps kind of fit it in with the rest. We gotta get to these plants. It's already, we've got like 15 minutes left in the stream, but I want to at least start a jellyfish. Zelda? Who's that? Bree says. Well, Zelda's the lady. The lady princess. And Link is the main character. You don't see very much of Zelda. Mostly, it seems like these days, Zelda enjoys causing chaos. And like the intro to the new, I don't know if I want to give spoilers. Let me know if you want me to tell you about the intro to the game, which isn't really much of a spoiler other than like, you know how there's people in those like in like a horror movie and you're like, don't do that, don't do the thing. Zelda is the character in recent portrayals of the series. Zelda has become the character that always dies first in the horror movie. Because she insists on doing the thing that, like, don't do the thing. Please, don't do it. That's gonna be bad. I can tell, like, everybody knows it's a bad idea. And she's like, no, I'm gonna do it. That's been her role in, the series the past 2 games. Is like, I'm gonna do it. And you're like, but don't do that. And Mugort says, yeah, that was always the confusing bit to me when I first got to know the game. Is the game is called Zelda, but you're playing Link, yeah. Sion says, and then you have to save her after she does this thing. Yeah, that's basically the premise. The premise is, like, Zelda's gonna do something, it's gonna be a bad idea, you're gonna know it's gonna be a bad idea, everything is bad, everything goes bad, and now your job is to kind of put it all back together, and that's it. That's the series in a nutshell, is that. Yes. You know, like those memes that you see where it's like, you know, scientists have uncovered a giant spoopy mummy with like a gemstone, and you're like, don't remove the gemstone, don't touch the mummy. Yeah, that's basically the premise of the game. Jellyfish plants. Jellyfish air plants. That's what we're doing. We're moving on to that. I selfishly with these jellyfish plants, I want to make like 1 million of these shells because they look so fun, and I'm gonna have to restrain myself to only doing like a couple. I think I'm gonna start with the general shape. My plan for this is to do the shell, do the chaining details. We'll use like a dot brush, pattern brush to do the outside. Maybe we'll use a dash line. And then I'm just going to use brushes similar to how I'll probably use the same line style here for the air plants, because that's kind of how they grow. They're kind of just like overlapping, you know, lines. But we have to do at least one of these. It's a requirement, mandatory. So we're going to start with, actually for this, I'm going to start with a poly, whoop. Let's bring it all the way down. We're going to go up to a pentagon, right? We're going to widen it a little bit. And for these 2 pieces here, I need to round them all the way out. And then we're going to round this top one out. And this is basically the shape. I actually think I want to pull this a little bit wider still. We're just going to round this all the way. And that's basically the shape. We can, you know, you can make this maybe a little bit. We can go all the way around. But I kind of like the idea. Actually, I'm changing my mind. I'm going to pull this down. I'm going to just use anchor handles. Because I want the transition to be a little bit smoother. What is going on here? Come on. Okay. So you can see that adding that second handle, it tries to like balance it out. So the transition doesn't feel as like abrupt. There isn't like a weird like cutoff to where this starts again. Another little pro tip there is if you are working with the rounded corners and you want to do a top like that, if you round things out and then you start to pull this down, well, not so much now in how I did this, but you'll end up with like a weird, it'll end up looking kind of like this. Right? And you're like, that's not what I want. I don't want it to look like that. And you can smooth that out by adding some additional anchor points. Alright, and then for this, we're going to start with just a base. we're going to do at least one of these on stream. So we're going to pull this down. That's too light. Let's see. I want a relatively light base, but I also want it to stand out. We could do white, I don't know. Maybe we go with... We might just have to go with the color that it's gonna be. Let's start with this kind of like coral color as our base. And I'm gonna copy and paste in front. And I'm just gonna start to add in these bands of color. And you know, they can be, you could do something like this, go a little bit lighter. And then we'll do copy and paste. I'm going to make a group and I'll copy and paste in front. I'm going to change this to be group, isolate this group. I'm going to change all this to be lines. I'm actually going to just do everything at once. And I'm going to go over here and I'm going to make a dashed line with my stroke. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to check this on. And I want so the dash is going to be the actual length of the line. So we need to bring this down really small to like, you can see if I make it 1 by 1 and I add a round end cap, it's going to make like little tiny dashes. We can even go smaller to like 0.5. So now I've got like little circles and I'm going to increase this up quite a bit. So if we do like 10, you can see that it starts to look like little dots on the surface instead of being you get the idea. And we can go in here and we can start to vary some of these. So we're going to go in and we're going to make these. Add some of that yellow in. No, hang on. I did make this a group. I guess it didn't stick. Alright, let's make this a group so I can lock this and paste in front. So now I'm just interacting with this. And we can make these lighter. Along these edges here. We'll bring this down. So we're just kind of adding a little bit of variation. And we can also vary the size. So like maybe we'll make these larger. And it starts to look like those shells. Decrease the gap here. So there we go. That's how we would go about making this. And we could very easily use the same technique here to make a whole bunch of varieties of these. And then the air plants themselves, like I said, I would use the same kind of style here. And I will just start from like the center. And we can just kind of like, this is, I personally, and I've said this before on the stream, oh, I must have. Oh, I locked it. That's why. I really find line work, and I know this sounds kind of crazy, to be like really therapeutic. I really enjoy just like adding line work to illustrations. And so this is the part that like I find to be really, there's something just like very nice and like relaxing and chill about adding line work to an illustration. It's hard to explain. So we can just kind of like start to build out the air plant that we want to add, right? Down a little bit. There we go. Just by like layering these brush strokes or lines. Start to add, bring them a little bit closer in. Will help make them look a lot fuller. So I would just kind of like selectively kind of add these. I don't need to like totally fill the space, but if I can kind of make them look like they have some depth to them, that's what I'm gonna do. I feel like I'm pulling a Paul Tranny right now and like, let's do an entire plant in 5 minutes. But I find this part to be quick to do anyways, so let's undo that. There we go. I might keep this short. There we go. And that's how I would do that. You'll notice that I did kind of add the overall structure kind of first. So I like added one over here, one over here, and one over here to kind of like give myself a framework to work from, and then kind of like building in from there. So I'm just kind of like layering these, following my initial shapes, and adding some variation to the way that they kind of overlap as I go. So. And then like right here, it might be nice to have one that kind of crosses this way. You know, group this, just kind of start to see how it looks in my scene. Obviously I need to like make this a lot smaller, but if we go up here, I'm actually gonna do preferences, scale strokes and effects, so I can scale this down. And there you go, that's how you would add like a little air plant that looks like a little jellyfish. Bam! Unicorn is laughing at pulling a Paul Tranny. Let's go, you could do this! Alright, now I'm motivated to get the rest of these leaves in before the end of the stream. We're gonna just kind of finish it out. We're gonna finish it out, and then we're gonna be done. It is 6:01, so technically the band hammer would have gotten me if this is Adobe Live, but this is not Adobe Live, and so I can finish this out without having to worry about that. Although Corey's probably gonna sass me in a minute. I do have to deal with that. I digress. There's really not that many leaves I need to add. I just need to kind of fill in the spaces over here. So, there we go. That looks good. That's so cute. And yeah, I can just add a couple of these just kind of throughout. It would be really nice to add a couple of these as silhouettes to the background, which is what I probably will also do. You know, they're so kind of like versatile in that they can be really small, so we can have them kind of hanging down lower in a couple places and stuff, so. There we go. We made it. We got through all of the basic main plants that I wanted. We got our monkey's tail, we got our bird's tail. We can actually just delete these because we now have them all kind of in place. And we would just start to build out the rest of these. I'll probably do a little bit of cleanup on this file, to be totally honest with you, next time, but I do want to finish this out on stream. So I'm going to go through here and just add a couple more of these jellyfish plants now that you've kind of seen me create the one. I may duplicate some of these plants and make silhouettes since we've done that before on the stream, and just kind of fill some of that space so that the next time we can just get right into it with these last remaining plants here, with those like larger plants, and then we'll be done. We'll just kind of finish up the details and we'll be done with this illustration. So we made it. Unicorn says no jellyfish. Are those octopi? Is that the plural? Octopus? Octopi? Thank you, Bree. Bree says, Jack, you're a wonder. I wouldn't be able to do any of this, obviously, without all of you. Like I said, all the support from my subscribers, but also that you all kind of provide me all of these lovely motivational ideas. Bree up here with a Chinese lantern plant. Let me go throw that in there. Oh, are you talking about a spider plant? See, all these, you guys, every time you guys come in with these ideas, and I have to just add more to the list. I don't know if we'll get through all of it, but I think a spider plant is a type of air plant, but it like has little like texture-y dots on it, if I remember. And then we'll do Chinese lantern plant. I do want to look those up and just verify what they look like, but I'm gonna add them to the list so we have them in here. And feel free, like I said, to take this and do this yourself if you want to. I'd always love to see your work, and I would love to. I'd love for you to share it with me, and I'll share it with you, share it with everybody on stream if you do share it and give me permission to. But that's gonna be it. It looks like Evie hopped off, so there we go. Scrolling down, make sure. No, spider plant isn't an air plant. Just this kind of leafy, long leaves, stripes. I'm gonna have to look that up. We did do the snake plant. Maybe it looks similar to that. Spider plant's root. Oh, well, I'm gonna have to look that up so I know what it looks like. But I'm gonna head out. I appreciate everybody for hanging out with me today and keeping me on task. We'll go to the, as Sean Kozel says, big head mode. Although I feel very short today, like I said. I have to adjust this camera down. Anyways, thank you all for hanging out with me. I do hope that you come and see me. Yes, come back tomorrow. We'll be doing branding tomorrow. We're going to be finishing up Parastyle since that's ready to be finished. And Bliss is saying you may think of that it is because of how the pups come out. Yeah, some plants do that. Like we have they're called head and chicks. I don't know what the proper name is, but that's how they grow. They like start as one, and then they send off these branches that make little baby ones, and the baby ones root, and then the stems between the parent and die off, and then you've got the little baby plants. So Sean's saying, oh nice, I look forward to seeing that. Yeah, we had a great conversation. They're really happy with everything. It's just a matter of like getting everything kind of like tightened up. We're going to be focusing on making a new file that's just going to be the branding doc, or the brand guidelines, essentially the brand doc for them. We're still going to be working on the packaging because we're not 100% on that. I do need to make some additional mock-ups for that, particular for like wholesale versus retail. I think that, and also like a different set of mock-ups for bags. So anyways, we're going to be we're not going to get through all of that tomorrow. We're going to work on some of that, and then we may also hop in and make do a quick little mock-up of the Society of Sprinkles for Odari. I'll probably do 2 different versions. We'll see. But I don't think the Parasol stuff's going to take that long, and I don't think the Society of Sprinkles stuff is going to take that long, since I just want to kind of give Odari two things, right? The main logo, something with the main logo, and something with Gregory to choose from. So there you go. That's going to be the plan. Also, like I said, I will be hosting, I told you I was going to remind you of this. I'll be hosting Pro Tips on June 12th. So if you have any suggestions for what you want to see as a Pro Tip stream, if you've ever seen the Pro Tip streams on Adobe Live, they're really just kind of like an artist, designer, creative, going through their process in a more advanced like tutorial format. So I've done opacity masks in the past, I've done 3D tools in the past. It's basically just like, here's a workflow that I've used, and it's a little bit more advanced than the challenges in that you kind of have to come with an understanding of how Illustrator works already, because we're going to kind of skip past the basics. But if there's something you want to see, it's really open-ended. I have done and could do animation stuff. We've done branding, packaging, illustration. I don't know. I threw out a couple of ideas. But if you have anything you really, really want to see, like I really want to see you do this, Jack, I'm always happy to entertain it, because like I said, those streams are for you all, and I want to make them tailored to be things that you want to see and learn about. Because I can come up with an idea all day, and like Umacorn said earlier, and you'll just have to deal with it. But if I can make it something that you're interested, that makes it better for both you and I, because you'll get something out of it. You'll get more out of it than if it's just what I'm interested in doing. So if what I'm interested in doing is the stuff that I do on my streams. So anyways, let's give a big shout out to everybody in the chat. Thank you so much to the mod squad, Corey and Nick and Bliss and Odari. I've got links to all of their stuff in the stream description if you want to check it out. Odari and Bliss are both live streamers on Behance, so be sure to go check them out. And Corey has Crock of Time, which is a kind of like food and fermentation community. On there's a Discord, there's a website, there's a Patreon now, which I have to make stickers for. And there's a and then Nick has Fragnum Opus, Nick's music. I've got a link down there. Also, moderators, if there are specific links that you want me to put in the descriptions, please be sure to send them to me, because I'm just throwing in there, you know, the ones that I have and have had. So if there's something else you want in there, someplace else you want to direct people, please let me know. And then also we've got links to Yoann Turpin. Yoann lets me play the music in these streams in the background. Yoann has produced the music for my intro and outro, which is super cool. Never in my life did I think that I was going to have some amazingly talented musician make music for my intro and outro for live streams. I didn't think I was ever going to be live streaming, for that matter. But here we are, and that's how life goes sometimes. But go check them out. Also, be sure to check out all the streamers we had in the chat. We also had Umacorn. We had RB, who streams on Discord. We had, like I said, Adarian Bliss, and I don't know if we had any other streamers today, to be honest with you. But there's a lot of great ones if you go check them out, just on that live tab on Behance. But yeah, Umacorn's gonna think about some ideas. Well, I want to like nail it down, preferably this week, so that I'm prepared for the 12th. But I will give people time. Obviously, you have like this week to get back to me if you have any ideas. But give a shout out to everybody in the chat. Oh, Gareth. Gareth is also a streamer, occasional streamer on Behance, and also a moderator in the Firefly Discord. So be sure to thank all of the lovely moderators that we have on Behance and in Discord. I know it's a hard, thankless job. So anyways, thank you everybody for joining. Bliss, Corey, Gareth, Hasine, Here Be Dragons, Ashika, Nick, Odari, RB, Bree, Stian, Umacorn, Evie, and then there's one more person here whose name is in Arabic. If you let me know, like, phonetically how to say your name, I'll be happy to. I don't speak Arabic, unfortunately, so I can't pronounce your name. And yeah, thank you, Corey, for sharing all of the links, all of various places, the subscriber stuff, which we talked about how behind I am on all that, but Also my social links. I'm live here on Behance, pretty much the same schedule every week, 4 to 6 Eastern Daylight Time, 4 to 6 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, whatever that translates to in your time zone. But also I post my schedule to socials and on Behance if you want to follow me there and find out when I'm going to be live. So that being said, I'll be back tomorrow. I will see you all then, and I hope you have, if I don't see you tomorrow, I hope you have a lovely rest of your weekend. Oh my gosh, I just looked back at my camera. I am so short. I feel like I'm talking into a hole. I'm sinking. Anyways, now you all know how short I really am, because before I had a tall chair, and now I have a short chair. So now you know how short I am in real life. Anyways, I will see you all tomorrow. Bye, everyone!